All of the food on the expedition is pre-packed, dehydrated food. We will be taking a few other bits and pieces in the way of snacks, and biltong, famous throughout Africa, being dried beef, which won't decompose whenever we're traveling. It'll cope very well, and you chew that, but it's almost like chewing a leather belt. But all of the rest of the food will be dehydrated. Therefore, if we have a problem with the water filters, we won't be able to eat because we need fresh water to rehydrate the food. I'm quite fortunate that I've been trained in bushcraft by a bushcraft instructor from Namibia, and he has been teaching me via the internet coastal foraging. Therefore, mussels, clams should be on the diet to supplement the diet. Obviously, you never know what you're going to find. We may find nothing at all, or Mother Nature may provide a whole array of extra food for us. We also will be bringing 2 fishing rods and hoping to catch fish on the expedition as well. Initially on the expedition, we're going to obviously have to see how the weather pans out first and how hot the daytime temperatures are, so that we can decide when we're going to do the bulk of the walking. Initially, we're going to try and walk during the day, but if the heat of the day gets too much, most of the walking will have to be done very early in the morning or later in the evening when the main heat of the day subsides. The Skeleton Coast, however, is famous for heavy fog because the ocean temperature is so cold, the land temperature is so hot, fog banks build up and then drift in the afternoons and can stay overnight and well into the morning. So hopefully during the day we'll be able to walk reasonably comfortably. On the Skeleton Coast, there's an array of wildlife further north and further south from where we're going to be. Where we are, it's very barren desert, either gravel pans for miles or very barren sand dunes. There will be some wildlife there. There will be snakes in the sand dunes, sidewinders. There will be Cape fur seals all along the coast. They're quite common. And we may also be visited by jackals and the occasional hyena. There used to be lion on the coast, but they haven't been seen, I think, in 12 years in that area, so it's very unlikely we'll see lion. And desert elephants are much further north now. They don't tend to frequent the area we are because it is so dry. One of the main focuses of the expedition is to have absolutely no environmental impact whatsoever. Basically, we're going to try and follow the old ethos of leave only footprints and take only photographs. Everything we take in on the expedition we'll carry back out. All rubbish, all waste will be taken back out again. So there should be no impact from us passing along the coast. That's one of the main focuses of the expedition. The first 3 days of the expedition are going to be quite interesting. We have to pass through a diamond mining zone. We've had to get special permission for that. Very few people have ever been allowed into this area, and we have to cover 20 miles a day for the first 3 days. We have to cover 60 miles in those first 3 days, otherwise we'll be collected and taken further, and that will completely ruin the unsupported nature of the expedition. I think with the packs being their heaviest for those first 3 days, they're the first 3 days that we're all going to be carrying the packs and walking on the coast, and we have to get the mileage in. We've no option. I think that's going to be the hardest part of the old expedition. There is currently quite a lot of PR being done about the expedition, and while we're gone we'll be phoning in a blog every evening on the sat phone, and when we get back there will be talks in the Royal Geographical Society, and I think media will be quite interested in the expedition, as it's the first time this section of coast has been traversed completely unsupported. One person has completed the walk before. Benedict Allen completed it, I think it was 2 years ago. He had 2 camels carrying his equipment, and he was followed by 2 rangers in a Land Rover, and I think they had water in the Land Rover as well. So we've been able to watch his documentary on certain sections of the coast, but no one has ever done it completely unsupported. The team just this past weekend have had a training weekend with the full pack weights, and everyone had their eyes opened to just how hard this expedition is going to be. And I think purely down to the weight we have to carry, the distance we have to cover, and the kind of terrain we have to be travelling. There's a reason it's never been done unsupported before. So failure is very, it's very likely. But I think knowing the team that have been put together and the motivation behind what everyone's got their own motivation for doing this expedition. I think we'll find a way to complete. I don't believe this expedition will be overly dangerous. There's a few key areas that will be dangerous. Firstly, we have to get water from the ocean. The ocean, as ever, can be very unpredictable. There are also, it's quite known for sharks, so we won't be venturing into the ocean very far. But overall, I don't believe it's going to be very dangerous. We're not going to be in the high sand dune areas very much. We're going to stick to that narrow coastal strip. So again, the little sidewinders that will be hiding in the sand shouldn't be a problem to us either. So overall, I think danger-wise, on a scale of 1 to 10, probably 4 or 5. The main aim of this expedition is to be the first to traverse this section of Skeleton Coast completely unsupported. As for 300 miles, there's no fresh water, and that's why really it hasn't been done before. That's the main aim of the expedition. Footwear is always very personal to people whenever they're carrying heavy rucksacks, but we've done a bit of research. I've done a bit of research in footwear as well, and it has to be the Mindel boots that most of the military are issued, that are in Afghanistan and any desert areas. They do a very tough desert boot that has been built like a general hiking boot. Gives very good ankle support, yet it's like a fabric boot that will allow the foot to breathe, with a relatively stiff sole which won't make your foot have to move too much. So yeah, military desert boots are, I think everybody feels, the order of the day. I'm wearing my boots as I speak. I have been living in them now for possibly 2 months. I have a spare backup pair that I've been living in as well, and I've been doing everything other than sleeping in the boots. So they are well broken in and they are very comfy. And walking in the Lake District, in the mountains, in these boots, they've proven to be very tough, very supportive. So hopefully there shouldn't be any problems with blisters and the likes on the trip. When we get back from the Skeleton Coast, hopefully the film will be edited together quite quickly, and word is it could be on National Geographic around Christmas. So hopefully that all goes to plan, and we'll put the word out to everyone when it's going to be aired. But hopefully that's going to be in and around Christmas. The website for the expedition is skeletoncoastexpedition.com, and all the information on what we're doing there is on the website, and you'll be able to follow the blogs on there as well.